Fixed effects versus random effects. Let's shorten these. Let's call it FE versus RE. So the scenario where we're considering fixed effects versus random effects is when we have panel data. This is when each individual, it could be individual, it could be city, whatever your unit of analysis is. Each individual has data at multiple time points. So if I had data, you might see me on January 1st, as well as January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, etc. Again, with panel data, we have multiple individuals as well. So if you have data, we'll see your data from January 1st and 2nd as well. And the idea with these effects is we want to model these individual specific effects. So what are the differences between fixed effects versus random effects? Let's add some color. Fixed effects. Let's get some orange. Random effects. So with fixed effects, the individual specific effect is constant. In other words, fixed. Whereas in random effects, the individual specific effect is random. So the equivalent of fixed effects when you're actually doing the modeling is almost as if you had a dummy variable for every individual, for each individual. Whereas with random effects, the unobserved error term is random and impacted by the individual effect. So with fixed effects, you can kind of pick it up in the dummy variable, whereas in random effects, you kind of pick it up in the error term. So dummy variable versus error term. And then lastly, let's see, if you're coming from econometrics like me, another difference they highlight is the fixed effect is correlated to independent variables. That is your other predictors. So how do you decide whether to use fixed effects or random effects? We won't cover all the details, but we can do a couple pointers. One is using an f-test on the dummy variables. So testing whether the collection of dummy variables is stat-sig. Another one is Brace-Pagan Lagrange multiplier test. That's a mouthful. This is testing whether the variance is equal. Again, are they having equal variance, or is that variance, that error term, actually impacted by individual effects? And then finally you have Hausman test, which test the correlation with the independent variables that's coming along this point. So essentially these are three methods tackling different aspects of whether you can use fixed effects versus random effects. So with the f-test, let's call it 1, you're testing significance of the dummy variables. With the Brace-Pagan test, let's call it 2, you're testing equal variance. So does the error term, is that constant, or does it actually vary by individual effects? Finally, the Hausman test, you're testing correlation with independent variables, which is more of the econometrics thinking, and that's coming here.